Hey there, Cammie. Are you home right now? If you are, go and check your mailbox right now. I think if you go and do that you'll be in for a really nice surprise. Wait a second. What the heck is this? Is this a wedding invitation? Did you send me a wedding invitation? Ding, ding, ding! That's right! Harold and I are going to get married. I told you that it was going to be an amazing surprise, right? Well, it certainly is an amazingly bad piece of news, that's for sure. You realize I'm just going to throw this in the garbage, don't you? Wait, what? Oh, come on. Don't you want to be there for your twin sister's wedding? You wouldn't really do something so horrible, would you? Don't you even have a single kind word for your sister finally getting engaged? What are you talking about, Tammy? Do you really think I'm going to celebrate you getting married to my ex? You know that all this does is make me angry, right? Oh no, really? I had no idea it would upset you that much. I mean, it's already been 2 years since I stole Harold from you. Are you really still that upset about it? You really need to learn to just let things go, do you know that? Even though we're twins, you and I are really nothing alike at all in some ways. You're right, I'm not like you. I would never try and steal your own boyfriend from you. I would never try and have an affair with anyone I knew who was in a relationship for that matter. And I would certainly never send a wedding invitation to the girl whose man I stole in the first place. Well, it's not like I wasn't going to send my sister an invitation to my wedding, but just think about it. Besides, we're twins. What's yours has always been mine, right? Anyways, you just need to get over yourself and come to my wedding. Who knows? You might even meet someone special there. Wouldn't that be something?
Hey there, Cammie. I guess you heard the news about Tammy and I getting married, right? So sorry things couldn't work out between the two of us, but I guess that's just the way the world works sometimes.
Are you kidding me? Now I have to deal with you too?
Well, your sister was already telling me about how you're still holding our relationship against us. I just didn't realize that you still had all those feelings for me. I just think it's funny that you're still in love with me after all this time.
You are really out of your mind if you think that I have even an ounce of feelings left for you, Harold. I mean, you really think I care at all for the man who left me for my own twin sister? I hope the two of you have a terrible life together.
I can tell that you still like me by how upset you're getting at me over this. This just proves that you still have feelings for me. Honestly, it's kind of cute. You're always cute when you're upset with me.
Excuse me? You are such a condescending jerk. Do you know that?
I don't know. I thought you'd be happy that I was with your sister. Shows that I really was always attracted to you. It's just that your sister has the better personality than you, so it was kind of just like upgrading to a better model. Like you would do with a cell phone. But your sister really does just run circles around you in the personality department. And thankfully she's just as cute as you, but with a better sense of style and fashion.
I do not want to be compared to my sister by you ever again. I mean, did you seriously just compare us both to buying a new phone? Who says stuff like that? But whatever, if you two love each other and want to get married, then far be it from me to stop you two.
I just can't get over how people who look so similar can end up so completely different, you know? I mean, your sister Tammy is pretty and accomplished and just all around a really lovely person. But you, on the other hand, well, you don't have any friends. I was your first boyfriend, and you let me get stolen away from you. You really should have seen this coming, you know.
I don't care one bit about your thoughts on what happened between us. The fact of the matter is that I wasn't even talking to my sister until she sent the wedding invitation. And if you two are going to get married, then I don't see any reason why we should be talking anymore, too. I never want to see either of you again.
Okay, fine. You don't ever have to see us again, but can at least come to the wedding. I mean, you can think of it as a final farewell to us, so just hurry up and give us your RSVP. We already have the best seat in the house arranged for you, so you can't miss it.
Hello there. I'm terribly sorry to message you out of the blue like this, but I'm Harold's mother, Donna. I just wanted to make sure that I was speaking to Tammy's twin sister, Cammie, correct? Yes, this is Cammie, but may I ask what this might be about? Well, there's something that I wanted to talk to you about regarding your sister, and I was hoping we'd be able to meet in person to talk. Yes, I suppose we could do that, but do you mind if I ask what all of this is about? There's some things I'd like to know about your sister, if it's all right with you. For example, I was wondering if she might have done anything bad to you. Maybe something that might lead you to hold a grudge against her? I'm sorry, but I think we're going to have to start this topic all the way from the very start. What is all of this about? Oh, you're right. Where are my manners? I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to be rude and pry right out of the gate. It's just that, well, I'm just nervous about my son marrying your sister, but I didn't want to go to your parents about this, so that's why I thought to reach out to you instead. Well, I really don't know what there is to say about my sister. She's a cheery girl with lots of friends. What problem could you have with someone like that? The thing is that I got an anonymous letter in the mail, and they were warning me about having my son marry your sister. You're kidding me. Someone has been leaving you letters warning you about Tammy? That's right, and this didn't just happen once. I've gotten maybe 5 letters with similar warnings in them. 5 whole letters? I can't believe it. And you have no idea who they're from? I don't, but my curiosity is piqued and I have to know more about my future daughter-in-law. So please, if there's anything you think I should know about her, please tell me. I have to know. Well, if you're really serious about this, then okay. I can tell you some things, but some of this might come as a shock. The truth is that Tammy actually stole Harold away from me. We used to go out until my sister came along and ruined it. You mean your own twin sister stole my son away from you? I had no idea that he was even with you. Well, it's true, and all of this happened about 2 years ago. That's when Harold and I broke up. Wait a second, I'm really confused by all of this. Why in the world would your sister and my son go along with doing that? I was shocked myself. Harold and I had been together 5 years before he left me. You two had been together for 5 years? Then what was it that finally made Harold want to leave you for your sister? In fact, now that you say that, Harold told me that he had been going out with Tammy for 7 years. I asked where the two of them met and they said it was 7 years ago at college. They told me about how they fell in love and decided early on that they wanted to get married. He even showed me pictures of the two of them from back then. Well, then it sounds to me like Harold is saying that he was with my sister while he was with me. And if he showed you pictures of him and my sister from back then, it's more likely that it was really Harold and I instead. But this doesn't make any sense. How could this be? Because we're twins. Does this really not make any sense to you? My sister is my identical twin. And you mean to tell me that you two are actually that identical? Oh, that's incredible. Well, we're only identical in looks, let me tell you that. I can't believe that Harold would pass off our photos as if they were with my sister instead. All to pretend that they were together for far longer than they really were? I don't believe it. So they're both lying about their relationship with each other when the fact is that 5 of the years they say they've been together for was really with you? I can't believe that my son would just trade you out for your sister like that. Well, it seems to be what's happened, and I think I might have an idea of who was leaving those letters in your mailbox. After all, they're quite proud of what they did to me and brag about it to their friends often. But I think they don't realize that a lot of their friends really aren't impressed by that at all. Anyways, please let me take this chance to apologize for my sister's actions. Oh dear, you don't have anything to apologize for at all. If anything, I'm sorry for bringing all of this up all of a sudden. And I just feel awful now that I know what my son's been putting you through. I had no idea he was capable of being so horrible. Well, it's all over now, so I really don't mind. I don't even care that the two of them are going to be getting married. I just hope I never have to deal with them again. So please understand that if you don't see me at family events, that's why. Of course! Oh, that makes perfect sense to me. I wouldn't want to be around people that did that to me either. In fact, I'm of half a mind to skip going to their wedding as well. But anyways, I'll have to have a little chat with my husband about all of this now that I know the truth. Thank you so much for talking to me about this, and once again, I really am sorry for my son's behavior. Oh, wow, I don't believe it. You really showed up to the wedding? Oh man, this is so sad and funny. I'm not sure whether I should be laughing or crying. What are you talking about? You were the one that invited me in the first place. I'm here, and now you're acting as if I'm somewhere I don't belong? I know I invited you, but it was obviously a joke. Don't you get that? I didn't think that you'd actually show your face around here. Oh man, I just texted Harold and he said that he's cracking up. It's so funny it hurts. Oh man, this is great. Okay, well, that was really funny, but you can turn around and go home now. Excuse me? Now you want me to just leave and go back home? Yeah, I mean, you didn't actually think that we had a place saved for you, right? It was all just a prank and you walked right into it. I don't believe you. What is the matter with you? Oh, come on. Did you really think we were serious? Why in the world would we want someone like you at our wedding? The answer is we don't. So just turn around and don't come back. You two really are just horrible. Do you know that? I mean, first you steal your own sister's boyfriend, then you have the gall to invite her to your wedding, and now you turn her away when she actually shows up? I only came here as a way of saying goodbye to the two of you. Great, and now we've said it. Now why don't you run along, okay? The wedding is about to start and we don't want you ruining the atmosphere. You mean you think that anyone else is actually going to show up to this? What is that supposed to mean? I mean that I'm the only person who was invited to this wedding. Are you sure you want your only guest to go home? I can't imagine it'll be a happy wedding for you two if I did. What in the world are you talking about now? Are you even reading what you're typing? All the guests are on their way as we speak. We sent out over 200 invitations and you're saying no one is going to come? That's exactly what I'm saying. You rented out this whole space, but no one is going to come. And just what makes you so sure that you'd keep repeating that, huh? If you don't believe what I'm saying, then just look around you. But anyways, I can see where I'm not wanted. Enjoy your lonely, empty wedding. What the heck is going on here, huh? What kind of game are you trying to play here? No one has shown up and none of my friends are here yet. I told you that nobody would be coming to your wedding already, didn't I? After all, who would want to celebrate the marriage of a couple of haters like you anyway? What do you mean? I still don't understand. Is it really that hard for you to wrap your head around? You've been bragging to everyone about how you're going to marry the man you stole from your sister. Well, everyone who knew that that was what your wedding was celebrating was disgusted by that fact. So that's why no one is going to show up to your wedding. You have no idea what you're talking about at all. Everyone laughed when we told those stories. And they all congratulated me when I told them Harold and I were getting married. Are you sure they weren't just trying to change the subject as quickly as possible? Or that they were just fed up with you two and wanted to end the conversation as soon as they could? No, that can't be right. They all said congrats. They were all happy for me. That's why I invited them all to the wedding. And have you gotten responses from anyone since then? Has anyone shown up to the wedding at all? Well, Harold and I just figured that everyone was really busy with work and that's why no one has shown up yet. But then not answering doesn't mean that they're not going to show up to my wedding, right? Well, how's it looking over there for you right now? But, I mean, it's not just my friends who aren't here. Both our parents aren't here either. What is going on? What did you tell our parents? I didn't have to tell them anything besides what you and Harold did. Or how you lied about how long you were together to his mom. Everything that's going on there today is entirely your fault. Do you realize that? Wait a second. What do you mean, Harold's mom? Are you telling me that you went and talked to her too? No, she came and talked to me. She has some concerns over you two getting married. She came to me asking about you, and I told her how you and Harold ended up together in the first place. You what? Why would you do that? What is the matter with you? You can't be mad at me for telling someone what you were already bragging to all your friends about. Now, if Harold's mom wanted to spread the truth to her friends and family and tell them why they shouldn't go to your wedding, that's up to her. But we sunk so much money into this wedding. We were hoping to get a bunch of money from people as gifts. What are Harold and I supposed to do? That really is none of my business, but it sounds to me like you two are getting the exact wedding that you deserve. So be happy that you two have each other and figure out what you're going to do next. Just leave me out of it and never talk to me again. I heard through the grapevine later that even those that did show up to Harold and Tammy's wedding didn't even bring gifts. Meanwhile, the wedding itself ended up costing the two of them about $30,000 that they had to put down on credit. With no real plan of how to pay it back, the two of them had to take out a big loan to afford the event. They tried asking their parents for help, but no one was willing to lend them even a cent. All their friends had cut the newlywed couple off too. They were truly alone. After that, I heard from Donna that the two of them ended up moving to a new state to try and start their lives over. After realizing they had no friends or family in their corner, even their coworkers began to whisper rumors about how they had gotten together and what had happened at their wedding. Ultimately, the two of them couldn't stand the embarrassment, so they quit their jobs, packed up their lives, and left. I have no idea what happened to the large debt they racked up, but I'm sure they're still working hard to pay it all off. That was really the last news I heard about them, though. I have no idea where they live or what they're doing for work these days, and quite frankly, I don't think I'd have it any other way. I wanted to go to their wedding because I still, for whatever reason, respected those two enough to want to say a proper goodbye, but what I got instead was so much better than anything I could have imagined. What made me so happy about this crazy episode of my life, however, was that it was through common courtesy and sympathy of others that all of this befell Harold and my sister. It gave me joy to know that people heard the way that those two talked about their relationship and that it was enough to alienate themselves from all their close friends and loved ones. I really didn't even have to lift a finger to get a revenge that I wasn't even seeking.
Thank you for watching till the end. If you felt good about this video, like the video. If you didn't like it, let me know why in the comments. Subscribe too. Your likes and subs lead to our motivation. We have so many videos on our channel as well, so go ahead and take a look. See you in the next video.
Sorry for bothering you while you're at work, Eloise. Would you be able to take some time off here soon? Perhaps in the next couple of weeks?
The next time I'll be able to take time off will be around the end of this month. Why are you asking?
Actually, my little brother Trey will be getting married. And he asked for us to go and meet with his fiancée and everything soon. So I was hoping that you'd have time to go and do that with me.
What? Trey is getting married now? He was only just talking about how he got a girlfriend a couple of months ago, right?
And well, he's getting married to her now. And Trey has always become easily attached to things, and so he wanted to propose to her as soon as he found out how much he loves her.
That's really fast for those two, though. Trey really must have been a good man to his fiancée for her to accept him that quickly. I would have at least asked for a couple months of just dating before saying yes to something like that.
And now he's wanting all of us to meet her as soon as possible. But, his fiancée is a little bit nervous about meeting everyone. Apparently, she's wanting to meet with you and I first before meeting my parents.
I can understand being a little bit nervous for all of that when she's only been with Trey for a little over a month or so, right? Maybe that's why she's wanting to see us first. It'll be practice for her later to go and see your parents.
I understand that you're pretty busy this month, but do you think you can at least take a half a day to come out and see her soon? We can even just make a quick lunch out of it, and then you can go right back to work after.
Understood. Let me see what I can do today about my schedule then. I'll talk to my secretary even, and she might be able to move some things around for an afternoon to become open.
Thank you for doing that, Eloise. Good luck with work today, and I'll see you tonight.
Thank you for coming out to see me today. I hear that you've been pretty busy and had to make some special time just to come and be with me. Oh, you don't have to worry about my schedule, Maria. I'd like to say how happy I am that I was able to meet you and Trey today. And congratulations on becoming engaged. I look forward to being your sister-in-law once the two of you get married. Actually, I'd really like to talk about all of that right now. It's about things regarding our relationship after today. Can we just act like we don't really know one another? Really, I'm not looking forward to ever meeting with you again, and would like for you and I to be very distant. What? What do you mean you want for the both of us to be very distant from one another? To put it in other words, I'm not going to be inviting either of you to my wedding, and from here on out, please don't even text or call me. I would like to say the next time you and I should meet one another is at our in-laws' funerals or something like that. What? So now that I've made my wishes clear, please respect them. Make sure to tell Milo about what I'm asking as well. Wait a second, Maria? Saying things like that about us out of the blue, I'm not sure what you mean. What? Do you really have to understand the deeper meanings here? As long as you respect what I've asked for, then everything will be okay. I'm asking that you and your husband stay away from us now. So please, just shut up and do as I've asked. Why are you saying things like that at this point in time, though? Today at our dinner, we all seemed to be getting along so well with one another. Did I say something rude to you that I never noticed? Well, right in front of you guys and Trey, I had to make sure to fake being all happy. But really, that whole time, I was feeling really let down by both you and your husband. I never actually expected my older sister and brother-in-law to be so poor. Had I known about that all before, I would have never asked to come out and see you both. You're calling us poor? You do realize that Trey is in his 20s right now and running his own company, right? He came from an Ivy League school and is now making bank, which has made him the ideal person for me. And since he ended up such a wonderful man himself, I assumed that both you and your husband would be just as amazing as him, if not more rich. But then to hear from you today that you're from the countryside and are still poor, do you even understand how much shock I was in after hearing about that? Huh? You told me about this at dinner today. You said that you are from some deep woods countryside community in the middle of nowhere, whereas I'm from New York and was raised there all my life. And when being raised there, both my parents had loads of money and raised me in this massive colonial-era mansion. That means that me being from a very wealthy and high-standing family should not be anywhere near your dirty and moneyless self. In other words, what you're getting at right now is that because I'm from the backwoods, you think that automatically makes me poor? I think it's a bit ridiculous of someone like you to be judging me based off of only my birthplace and where I was raised. That's not all I'm judging you off of, though. You did come from the middle of nowhere, but your husband Milo also happens to be a jobless shut-in. It must be very hard on someone who's already at the bottom of society to have to be married to a man that doesn't bring in any money. You both are on a one-way trip to becoming some of the poorest people in America. Did you not listen to a single thing my husband and I were saying to you today at the dinner? My husband is not unemployed right now, rather a hard-working man getting all the housework done at home. Someone who stays home and does the chores all day is jobless, right? Either way, he isn't making any money and should just be called a parasite of yours. Then wouldn't that make you a parasite to Trey as well? Huh? You were telling the both of us that after getting married, you'd leave your job and become a housewife, right? You won't be making any money, nor will you have a job, meaning that you are jobless as well. So you and Milo are one and the same. Would you please stop making fun of me like that? Unlike your husband, I am not without a job right now. And when I become Trey's wife, I will still have a job. Really? My job will be staying pretty and youthful for my husband in order to support him through all his hard work. I'll have to make sure that all of his meals are properly balanced so that he'll always be feeling great without gaining any more weight. And considering I'll be doing all of that to support him as a company owner, you could call my job being a company owner as well. I happen to have a very good job coming my way, so please don't compare me to that jobless Milo. But what about making money? I'm not so sure you'll be making a paycheck every month just by being a wife. Are you kidding me, Eloise? Trey has promised me that every month he'll be giving me an allowance of $5,000 to spend. In other words, that's going to become my paycheck, my income. Your allowance will be your income? However, for Milo, he's not getting an allowance right now, correct? In other words, he's just living in that house without bringing in a penny. The only thing you can call a man like that is a parasite. Come on now. I'm starting to get really tired of trying to figure out what the hell your manner of thinking is. I don't need you to understand how the high class think, so would you please shut up and do as I've asked? Ever since I was a little girl, I have never wanted to become close to those that are even an inch below me in the society. Also, my family and I are allowed to pick and choose who we want to be around, and you guys aren't a part of them. So therefore, after today, I don't want either of you to have anything to do with myself or Trey, please. Even if you both want to be close to me, you're not socially allowed to do that, so don't even bother trying.
Hey, Eloise? Did I do something wrong at that dinner we went to last week? I'm not able to get any text from Trey or Maria anymore. So I'm wondering if you know what's happened to them?
What was that?
Last week we went out with those two for dinner, right? After that dinner, I sent the both of them a text saying that dinner was really fun and thanks, but they haven't even read it yet. And when I messaged Maria again, she still didn't reply to me. I've started to think I've done something wrong and that those two might have blocked me now.
The fact that not even your little brother, who is known for being very prompt, has not gotten back to you or even read that message yet, probably means he blocked you.
I knew it. Hey, did I really do or say something wrong that evening? I get that I was really happy for my little bro and drank a bit of alcohol that night. But did I really do something that bad there to warrant them blocking me?
You didn't do anything wrong, actually. It's just Maria blocking you for no good reason. And Trey isn't bothering to do anything about her either.
What? What is going on with them right now?
I've been a bit on the fence wondering if I should tell you or not, but I guess I have to now. After that dinner we had, I got a text from Maria and her and I both talked for a little bit. She told me about how you and I aren't good enough for her and Trey, so she doesn't want us bothering them anymore. She even told me we're not invited to her wedding as well. But the fact that she'd even get Trey involved and have him block you is wild to me. Unless she went and did that herself and he still hasn't noticed anything. She really is a problem, that girl.
Wait a sec. Why are both you and I hated so much by that Maria chick? We aren't good enough for her is what she said? There has to be something I did to piss her off like that, right?
Calm down, Milo. Neither you nor I have done anything wrong here. It's just that Maria hates us for her own reasons that really don't make any sense. Right now she seems to think that both you and I have no money or something.
Huh? She thinks you and I are actually poor?
Compared to Maria, who grew up in New York at an old mansion, I was just raised on the middle of nowhere, right? And with your brother running his own company right now to the best of his abilities, she sees you as doing absolutely nothing because you're home all the time. That means to her, I'm just a moneyless hick from the backwoods, and you're just a parasitic shut-in, and that means you and I don't make any money.
You're telling me that that's her only reason for why she views you and I as poor?
Apparently, since Trey is a CEO right now, she assumed you, being his older brother and me being your wife, we'd have even more to offer than him. So perhaps right now she's in shock because she feels like she's been backstabbed by her own misunderstood expectations.
Wait. That is all just way too crazy to me, though. How can she just decide something like that about us when she barely even knows you and I? She's already gone and blocked me and won't even invite us to her wedding now. I'm sorry, Eloise. Because I'm not working a job right now, she's probably thinking the both of us are lowlives.
You do not have to apologize for something like that. I don't mind you not having a job right now, and you happened to do your best at your last job, which was enough for me to be satisfied with you. You need this time off from working in order to rest your head, all right?
But surely if I was working right now, none of this would be happening to you and I. I'm going to try and get my parents to reach out to Trey for me right now. And then hopefully he'll become aware of what's going on with his fiancée right now.
No, you shouldn't do something like that to them right now. I think it's better we just let things be for right now.
But if we leave things the way they are currently, I'm going to lose my mind.
I understand that, but you saw how those two were acting with one another when we went to dinner, right? Your brother was falling head over heels for Maria and wouldn't stop talking about her. They're already planning on getting married, so we shouldn't do anything that would hurt those two's relationship.
If that's what you want to do, then I'll lay off for a bit. But if Maria starts saying things about us again like that, please let me know so I can tell my parents. I don't care that this is my brother's relationship. Having his fiancée treat us like that will literally make me explode.
All right, I'll let you know if anything else happens. Now, I'm gonna head back to work. I'll be waiting for you to cook me up some more really delicious food tonight. Hey, Maria, what the hell are you trying to do? What were you thinking pouring water all over me like that? And the fact that you just did that in front of everyone with that bucket was insane. I'm the one that wants to ask you that same thing. What the hell are you trying to do? I didn't even invite you to my wedding today. Yet you still came all the way out here and introduced yourself to everyone here. You both are frickin' moneyless lowlifes, so don't you dare come to my wedding of all places. I understand that you didn't invite either one of us here, but Trey contacted us about the wedding. He said that we didn't RSVP or anything to the invitation, but we were still coming, right? Maria, you never sent us the invitation you had ready for us and just threw it away, didn't you? And so what? You should have been able to tell that I didn't want you here and should have just said no to him. Yet you came all the way here like you had nothing to worry about and then introduced yourself to all my guests. Why, at my gorgeous and expensive wedding, is there this moneyless, shut-in supporting lowlife introducing herself to all my guests? Huh? I made sure to prepare this wedding the very best I could, which was to a standard of perfection. And I wanted to show off to everyone today that I'm getting married to a CEO. This wedding has to show everyone that I'm the winner and they should all suck up to me. There is no reason for someone like you to be here talking to everyone that's here for me. But even so, that's not a good enough reason to just come pour a bucket of water all over me like that. Are you an idiot or something? Everyone just saw you do that to me and are as surprised as I am. What's the problem with someone of my class pouring water on someone who's below me? Nobody was shocked to see something like that, and I'm sure they'd all do the same thing if they were in my shoes. I'm sure they were all happy to see that happen to you. That happened to you because a poor person should never come into a high-class wedding and start talking to all the guests. Huh? I really hope you've started to understand what position you're in here. And not just at this wedding, I mean, but in this society. I am getting married to Trey, a CEO. This should have shown you that I have no plans of becoming close friends with any of your kind. Don't think that you can become family to me when you're nothing more than beggars. I will never, ever have anything to do with two lowlifes like you and your husband. Then I'm not working with your husband anymore. The contract is being dismissed and relations are over with. What? I really have reached my limits with you today, Maria. I was trying so hard not to make such a big deal out of this for your guys' sake. But having to get drenched in water by you today was the last straw. If you're going to continue to act like that towards me, then let me help you end all the relations you guys and I had. To start, I'm having that contract terminated today. And I will never ever work with your husband and his company again. What is all of this about right now? What kind of contract are you talking about? You don't have anything to do with my husband and his company's work. Oh, but I have everything to do with it, actually. Your loving husband and I both have a lot to do with one another. Huh? Right now, Trey's company's been doing really well in terms of sales and all that, right? But who might be to thank for all of that growth and has a very good understanding of it all? I'm so sorry. Had you known who I'm talking about, you would have never done something as idiotic as pouring all that water on me. What? As for who I'm talking about, it's me. I happen to work as a customer of Trey's company. Actually, Trey's company happens to be a subcontractor to my company. I happen to have a lot of jobs that I give his company so that he's able to make money through us by handing my company labor. About half of those sales that Trey's been making in terms of selling labor come from my company. Huh? What did you say? That's why today I did not come as his sister-in-law, but rather as his most important customer. Yet if something like this were going to happen to me today, I would have never come. Wait a minute, you're his biggest customer? What? What? You're not just a customer of his, but the biggest one his company has? Just because I'm from the countryside doesn't mean I can't run a company as well. Now that you're aware of things, I'll be going.
Eloise, have you taken all your clothes off and gotten into the tub yet? Did you make sure to get all warmed up and everything? I'm at the store right now getting everything I need to make you chicken noodle soup, alright? Once I'm home, I'll make a big thing of it so that you can warm up and try to fight off any chance of catching a cold.
Thank you for all of this, Milo, but I was just drenched in a little bit of water, so I'll be fine.
You're not fine, though. None of this is fine. You have a very important meeting next week, and if you catch a cold because of Maria, what are we gonna do? We have to make sure you take care of yourself now before it's too late.
You're looking more like my secretary right now than my husband.
I'm not your secretary, I'm like your teacher. Look, you have to understand that back in the day, I was a CEO myself and know what to do here. You have to make sure you take care of yourself before important meetings like that. so that your company can stay strong and not collapse along with you.
Then I guess I'll keep quiet and do as you say, teacher.
Jeez, I can't believe that chick would pour water all over you like that at her own wedding. That's not even something to call a mistake anymore. What she did was pure assault. I'm not going to let her get away with that.
Hey, you can chill there, Milo. I have no plans of forgiving her myself, and today I just plan to rest before I get to the business side of taking out the trash. And you can just focus on making me that soup and keeping those nasty colds away from me, please.
All right. I've just picked up all the ingredients and will be coming home now. Once you finish with your bath, make sure to get yourself in bed and wait for me, okay?
Please, Eloise, please don't tell me you're really going to stop doing business with Trey's company. Actually, can you come back to the wedding right now? If both you and Milo don't come back here right now, then this wedding is going to be canceled. Wait, it hasn't even been canceled yet? Why would it be canceled already? I just had to explain to everyone what happened just then in order to get them all to wait a bit longer. Everyone said that as long as you come back soon, then they will all stay for the wedding. Then can you tell them all the wedding is over with and that they can all go home now? What? Right now I've just sat down to eat some of my husband's famous chicken noodle soup. He's trying to keep me from catching a cold right now because of you. So he added extra spices to this bowl. I apologize for throwing that bucket of water all over you. So please, would you come here right now? I never knew that you were also a CEO, Eloise. And to hear that you're actually Trey's biggest customer as well, I never knew that. I'm sorry, Maria. It's too late for apologies now. No way, Eloise. Then could you at least hand your phone over to Milo and let me speak to him? Let me speak to him right now. You want to talk to Milo? I heard this from my dad of all people, but is it really true? I know that right now he stays home to do the housework and such, but he was working as a CEO of Townsend Holdings? Oh, your dad must know a lot about the business world. We never told your parents anything about where Milo used to work and who he was there. My dad is working for that company right now. What? And he knows a lot about your husband and what he did at the company. Milo had worked so hard at the company that within 2 years of first being hired, he made it to becoming the new CEO. And then after a few years of working in that position and taking the company to multiple record-breaking goals, he left because he received all the money he needed. Well, he was just really wanting to retire at a young age was all. And that's why he even put in so much work that even the previous CEO recognized him and said he was next in line. Milo's dream was to work his butt off every day and night to take that company to places it had never been before, so that he could get as many company bonuses as possible and then retire soon after. And he ended up achieving that dream of his in record time. Neither him nor I have ever thought that he'd actually be able to do all of that so quickly. What? And now that he's retired now, he just relaxes at home getting all the housework done for me while enjoying his hobbies. And even at home, he's still making money through the many shares he got from that company before handing it off to another man. What? Sorry about this, Maria. I just asked Milo if he'd want to talk with you, and he said no. What? He happens to know about your father as well, by the way. His response to me asking about him was that you're the daughter of that useless manager who never got anything done for the company. So Milo totally understands where you got that toxic attitude from now. Useless manager? Now then, make sure you cancel that wedding of yours. And just as was expected, the wedding was canceled, and immediately following it, Maria and Trey started to talk about how there would be no more marriage. After what happened this time, even Trey, who was so madly in love with Maria, had his eyes open to the real kind of monster she is. He told her about how much this was going to ruin his company and about how his relation to his brother and myself had been soured because of her. After that, he said to her everything was off and that he would never, ever talk to her again. Thinking that she'd never hear something like that from Trey, Maria came to Milo and I screaming and crying about how sorry she was for everything. But as she sat outside our doors screaming about how sorry she was, we both looked at one another before locking the door and putting on a movie with the volume at max so that we didn't have to hear her. Trey later went ahead and started to put more attention into his company again after seeing me end that contract in front of his eyes. But after a few months go by, I might go back and see how he's doing and see if he really does need me to come back and work with him again. As for Maria, only a few weeks after giving up on apologizing to us, she was kicked out of her parents' house as her dad had had enough of her. Apparently Milo put in a bad word to the CEO of the company he used to run, saying that Maria's dad couldn't be trusted and should just be fired. So due to that, he is currently under even more investigation and soon might end up losing the job he never really took seriously to begin with. The last thing anyone has heard about Maria came from Trey after he received a note from her asking for him to take her back. But Trey knew better than to read that note, and so after giving it a skim, he tossed it in the garbage can with Maria watching him do so from a bush in his yard. After that, she was never heard from again and has most likely left New York for good and gone somewhere lowlifes like her can live. Like perhaps the backwoods or something.
Thank you for watching till the end. If you felt good about this video, like the video. If you didn't like it, let me know why in the comments. Subscribe too. Your likes and subs lead to our motivation. We have so many videos on our channel as well, so go ahead and take a look. See you in the next video.
Riley, about you coming out to see my parents this weekend. Right now, my dad and everyone is out of the country, so the only person that'll be there is my mom. I hope that's all right with you.
Wait, so not even your siblings are going to be home then? I think if it's only going to be your mom, then maybe we should change plans to another day, right?
No, it'll be all right. My dad and older brother happen to love working a lot, actually. So they don't really ever have the time to see you. But with my mom, she's the one who's always home. So having her be the one to judge you is the best thing for everyone.
Is that so? But with it only being her there, I'm even more nervous for this weekend. I have to make sure that I make a good first impression, or else your mom might never like the idea of me being with you, Caleb.
You'll be totally fine, Riley. She might be a bit of a stickler at times, but as long as your impression on her this time is spot on, then you won't have to worry about yourself after. Just talk about all the good things about yourself, and listen to what she has to tell you, and you'll be just fine.
Listen to what she has to tell me? That's a bit scary. What's she going to say to me? Is she more strict than you're telling me?
You could say she's a bit scary. You could say that she's just very serious. You could also say she's just stubborn. I have talked with her before about who you are as a person, but she doesn't seem to care about what I had to say about you.
Are you kidding me?
I think she's a little bit worried about you coming from a single-parent household, with only your mom around, right? So, I'm thinking that when you see her this weekend, she's going to be bringing that up quite a lot. But don't let that startle you too much. As, like I said, she didn't seem to care about much else that I was telling her. As long as you can show that you're a good woman to her, I think she'll totally forget about you only having your mom around.
I'm only getting more worried now. I'm used to people being a bit judgmental of those who only ever had their mom around to raise them, but it doesn't mean that I like that kind of one-sided judgment. If your mom begins to go tough on me, you'll be there to soften things up for me, right?
Well, I'm going to be trying my best to support you. But I'm counting on you being able to show my mom how content you are. So, I think that'll all be fine. You want to get married to me as soon as possible, right? So, for the sake of our marriage, do your very best.
I don't want you ever coming around my family again, you poor woman. I will never give my son up to such a moneyless and desperate woman as you. Who did you think would allow you to be marrying my son of all people? I would like you to apologize to me first and foremost. That was not okay, pouring water all over me like that out of nowhere. But if I didn't do that, you would have never left me alone, right? So my only option was to pour that cold water all over you like that. Excuse me? Also, that happened to be some very fresh and natural mineral water that I threw on you, so you should be grateful for that. But I'm starting to think that I should have used toilet water or something on someone with your likes, considering it would suit your poor self better. Please do not ever say something like that to me again. And as for your reason of pouring water all over me like that, I have no words. Did I do something wrong by coming to your house to see you about marrying your son? All I did was walk through your front door and introduce myself. And then just like that, you were throwing water on me. Well, you just happened to be the poor little woman I imagined you to be, and that pissed me off. I had already heard from Caleb about how you only ever had one parent, but the way you even talked to me got my blood boiling. Really showed me just how incompetent your mother was at raising a child. I suppose not everyone is fit to be a parent, or even a wife at that. What? I heard all I needed to hear about you from Caleb already. He did say that you are employed at a rather large company and all, but you graduated from some small community college in the middle of nowhere. And I'm sure that's because you never had a father figure there to help raise you, right? Do you have a problem with me only ever having my mom around me growing up? I'm not sure if you've heard this yet, but my dad ended up passing away in a crash long ago. And ever since then, my mom has been raising me all on her own, but I'm not sure what the problem is with that. It is sad that things happened like that, which ended up leaving your mom as a single woman, but her never getting remarried has sealed your fate. Compared to the powerful family that I've raised my sons in, your little mother and daughter household is a disgrace. What about me only having my mom around to raise me is a disgrace, though? Oh, you already know what makes that a disgrace. As you can see with my family, my husband and I were able to raise kids that have all gone to very famous universities. And as of right now, everyone is a doctor. In other words, that means my family of doctors is all leagues above whatever moneyless and meaningless household your mother's raised you in, making you both disgraces. I think that's the perfect word to describe you guys with. If I may, I don't exactly remember you being a doctor yourself, Victoria. Caleb told me that all your life you've only ever been a housewife. This is not about me. It is very important for the mother to always be at home in order to raise such a respectable family. Now listen to me. What you should be very aware of after today is that my very wonderful son is never going to be allowed to marry some woman who comes from nothing besides poverty and sadness. I'm sure that someone like you is only wanting to marry him in order to get close to my family's money, right? You only want to be his wife because you know he makes so much money. You are wrong about that. The only reason that I want to be married to your son is because I love the man he is. Oh, absolutely not. You are not going to get away with such a weak lie as that. Let me just say that I've done my fair amount of research into you, and that means I know for a fact that you're the type of woman who is only after money when it comes to men. What do you mean, fair amount of research? I had to do my research since I'm the mother of a family filled with doctors. And from what I've learned, you're not even worth a second of my son's time. You may not think I know much about you, but a woman in her 50s like me is able to do anything and everything in order to preserve the purity of her kids. And that means spending days looking into all your social media accounts, finding everything I needed to know about you. What? And out of all those accounts, I found your Instagram to be the worst. It was filled with all these pictures of you standing around with all kinds of brand bags and clothing like you belonged to some rich family yourself. I knew from that moment that your only goal in life is to get as much money as possible from the men you find. That's the truth, right? I am so sorry, but I think that you've wasted your time. I don't even have an Instagram, so I'm not sure who you were looking at on there. If anything, I don't have any social media accounts at all. So who you were looking at was someone else. Stop lying to me. I know you're nothing more than a low-life, moneyless parasite. I was able to find out everything about you as the mother and wife of a doctor's-only family. So there is no way on this holy earth that I've made a mistake about you. But I'm not kidding you. I don't have an Instagram account. Even now, you're not going to just confess to me that you only want Caleb for his money, huh? Well, so be it. All I want you to understand after today is that your marriage to Caleb will never happen and that you and him are nothing. The engagement is off. I will never allow you to be married to my son as long as I'm the mother of this household. You can't be serious. Can you please just listen to what I have to say? Also, could you please stop calling me some moneyless lowlife like that? Same with my mom, please. That's not something someone in as high of a position as you are should be saying about others. It's not fair to me, and you're beginning to get on my nerves now. Shut your mouth right now. I will not be talked to like that by some fatherless whore. You are never going to have that dream of being married to my wealthy son come true. Then I guess this is really it for Caleb and I. Good. And don't you ever come near my family again. It's a promise, then. I never thought that things would go this far south in such a short amount of time. But since you don't seem to want to listen to me, rather sticking to your thoughts of me only wanting money from your family, I'll grant your wish of never becoming your son's wife. As I don't want to have a mother-in-law like you either. Perfect! Now you go and tell Caleb that things are off and that you will never be seeing him again. And before you end things for good, you apologize to him for wasting his time making him think he'd ever be allowed to marry low-life garbage like you. Hey, Caleb, you and I are no longer going to be getting married, and you and I being engaged is over with.
What?
Your mom doesn't seem to want us being married to each other at all. Her and I just finished up talking about a lot of things regarding myself, and it seems that she just does not want to listen to anything I have to say. And that's why the only option I have now is saying goodbye to you.
Wait, what do you mean you just finished talking with her? And she's not listening to anything you want to say? You shouldn't be saying anything to her at all. I told you before that all you have to do is listen to what she has to say. That's it. Jesus. Are you an idiot or something? Now you've gone and gotten our whole relationship ruined by talking back to her like that.
Don't you dare joke around with me. I am very upset with your mom right now over this, but you're the one I'm most pissed off with right now.
With me?
You watched as your mom poured water all over me as I walked into her house, and you didn't even bother to hand me a towel. All you did was stand in the corner laughing over what your mom was saying to me. Why did you not come to help me at all then?
Yo, you're asking me that? All I was doing was reading the air, for God's sake. My mom loves the hell out of me, so if I were to come to your aid at a time like that, she would have started to yell at me too.
I'm not going to listen to an excuse like that, Caleb. You watched as your fiancé got soaked in freezing cold water from head to toe, right? At a time like that, you should be coming to help me and warning your mom to stop that.
No, hold on. I did want to do something like that, all right? But as you could see after what she did, my mom is a very tough person to deal with, and it's better to just be left alone, right?
My mom taught me something very important about relationships. She said that if the man I plan on marrying is caring about someone more than me, then he's not worth marrying at all. And that's why I agree with calling off our marriage now. I hate both your mom and you now.
Huh? Are you being serious right now, Riley? If you call off our marriage, that means you and I are breaking up, okay?
Yeah, and that's why I'm being serious about it. I don't want to force myself to be with you any longer, especially since now I can see you and I don't have a future together anymore. So I think ending everything between us right now is the most efficient way of saving our futures from being filled with sadness and hate. This is the best for both of us, all right?
What the hell? You should be happy that I chose you to become my wife. Yet you're telling me that you aren't happy being my fiancé anymore? What the hell is this? Stop it with all that BS right now. You can't talk to me like that when you're just a woman.
What did you just say to me?
I thought that you'd be the perfect fit for my wife. You don't look all too bad in terms of your figure, and you happen to work for a very good company. You even make a pretty penny there. But I thought that I could still best you because you come from a mother-only household and went to a community college. That's why I was fine with making you my wife. But now I can see you're nothing more than a back-talking, brain-dead whore.
Unbelievable. So that's how you've been thinking of me this whole time?
Well, of course it is. If it wasn't for your looks and that job of yours, no one would want to make you their wife. You were raised in a broken family, for crying out loud. But who cares now? Because things between you and I are over right now. After this, while you're crying and regretting saying such things as that to me, I want you to know that it's too late to come back to me.
And that's just fine. I'm not going to have any regrets about this.
Go ahead and try acting all strong and tough like that after today. You'll realize that you lost the one and only chance in your life to become a part of an elite family such as mine, and you'll regret it until the day you die. There are no other men in this world willing to marry a low-life woman like you. So you've lost at this game of life. Your days of dreaming about a life of luxury and happiness are over, as the one man with all that is saying goodbye to you now too.
Don't make me begin to laugh at your complete misunderstanding of the position that you're in.
Uh-huh.
The only one here that's missed their once-in-a-lifetime chance is you, Caleb. You just let your one and only chance to marry such a fabulous woman as me slip through your fingers. So I hope you realize that later on when regret begins to build up.
Who the hell do you think you are? Fabulous woman? No fabulous woman comes from a fatherless family. Nice try there, Riley. But talking like that isn't going to ruin my mood any. I am far superior to you in every way, since I happen to be a very successful doctor. I happen to only be in my 20s, yet I'm already making $200,000 a year with my work.
You think that $200,000 a year is something to be proud of? I happen to be making multiple times that amount right now.
What? Making more than me? You are?
And that mom of mine that you guys seem to make fun of all the time is making even more than I am currently. So with all this money that the both of us are making, you're going to still make fun of my mom and I like that? Just because her and I don't happen to be doctors and I don't have a father around me.
What do you mean? What do you mean you're making that much more than me? And your mother is making even more than you? You are an office worker, and your mother has been single for years now.
That's right. I'm just some office worker. Just some office worker working for her mom's company. But even if I'm just an office worker, that doesn't mean I'm not important to her company. I am a director there after all.
A director? And wait, your mother's company? Your mother? She's the CEO of that company?
You've known about how I've been working for this pretty large company the whole time we've been together, right? Well, that company has actually been my mom's company this whole time.
Huh? So that makes you the CEO's daughter? And you'll probably become the next CEO of that company?
Well, that's what it looks like. But I'm not all that amazing when it comes to doing the work my mom can do, so I'm not really sure I will take over the company next. I think I'd rather let someone more experienced than me take the helm next, so you don't have to call me the upcoming CEO or anything like that. And I'm not sure my mom plans on giving me the company after her either.
What?
My mom happens to be a very serious woman when it comes down to her company, which means she's not going to let me have the easy road by just giving me the title of CEO next. Heck, to get where I am now, I had to study for years about the kind of work I'd have to do as a director and have all the qualifications as well. I even had to take a few tests within the company to get here, so I like to say that the position I'm at now was not handed to me, and neither would the position of CEO. Everyone within this company knows that this position wasn't just handed to me, and that's why I'm respected by everyone here.
But wait a second. You never said anything about any of that to me before. You never said that you're a director at your mother's company. And you never said anything about how your mom is the one running that large company either, did you?
And I guess I'll apologize to you for that. But my mom told me to never bring any of that up with men like you. She said all that information was to be kept to myself until after marriage. She said I'd only attract beggars by talking about my mom's situation and all that, so it was best for me to just stay quiet.
What?
My mom's been through a lot herself and wants to make sure that I'm okay when it comes to finding myself the right man. Actually, back in middle school, someone had learned about my mom being a CEO of a very large company, and after that, the news of it spread all over. I had to spend years with people always asking me for money and asking to come over to my house to play. So after I had finally graduated high school and escaped all of that, my mom made sure that I never said a word about her position again.
No way.
That's why I never really talk about my family or my work to anyone anymore, even if they are the people I love and care for. I really did love you a lot, and being your girlfriend and fiance was some of the best memories I'll ever have. That's why I was totally fine making you my husband, and then after that, I'd tell you all the details about my mom and myself. But only months before we could get married, you showed me who you really are and let me see just the kind of monster your mother is as well. I guess I need to get better at figuring out which men are really men, if you know what I mean.
What is with you saying that about me? You're making it seem like I'm not a good man at all.
Well, you're not. You seem to think it's okay to pick on me for having only really been raised by my mom. And on top of that, when your own mother began to attack and tear into me, you just sat there laughing because you didn't want your mommy getting upset with you next. You are absolute trash when it comes to what men should be.
What?
Well, that's it from me. I hope that you can find yourself a proper woman for you next, who will be far more willing to take crap from your mother and not say a single thing in return. Is it really true that you're the daughter of a CEO? That your mother is the CEO of a company like that, and you're one of the directors there? I'm sure you already know the answer to that and don't need to be asking me anything. I mean, you're the mother and wife of a family of doctors, so you're able to find out just about anything and know that it's the truth. After looking at all my non-existent social media accounts, were you not able to learn that about me? Wait, that was... Pardon me, I didn't exactly mean to pick on you like that. I would never talk or post about that sort of stuff on social media had I made any accounts for you to snoop through. I don't have time to be doing any of that petty crap, nor do I want to. But I did find your accounts online. The accounts had your name on them, and the woman on Instagram looked just like you. Well, there were no pictures of your face on there, but I could tell immediately that the person in those posts was you. So you're not even going to accept that you were wrong this whole time? Well then, let me just tell you to make sure you look very closely at the names on those accounts. I'm sure that there have been accounts with my name on them, but if you take a good look, my last name is a bit different than theirs are. What? You might be thinking that Marshall is the same as Marshall. Ah! And when you take a look at the info on those accounts, they do not match the info that I would have, like the schools I've gone to and things like that. I went to a small college called Delta College back near my hometown. What the one account that I've found says is that they went to Harvard. Not only is the name wrong, but so is the school. Yet you still had full confidence thinking they were me. What is this? You think you can just mess with me like that? I'm sure you just put your name in incorrectly on Instagram to hide yourself. And you changed what school you went to Harvard to make yourself look better. I know all sorts of people do things like that online to make themselves look good. And I think that someone like you would do that all so that you could get closer to my son for his money. I see. I didn't know that was such a popular thing people did since I don't use social media myself. You happen to know a lot about how people will change their names a little bit to hide who they really are and lie about the school they graduated from very well, don't you, Victoria? Perhaps that's because you used the same tactic to get with your husband? Excuse me? I actually went and took a look into you as well, Victoria. I happen to not be so good with that sort of stuff, though, so I hired someone who knows all about computers and social media to do the sifting through for me. You hired someone? A pro, to be precise. And from what they found, you happen to hold numerous accounts all over the internet. You have one where you fake being a woman in her early 20s that just graduated out of college. And another one where you act like you're working for a supermarket and can make all kinds of different meals using their produce. I also like the account you made where you act like you went and graduated from Harvard yourself, even though really you only came from a small trade school. To me, you seem to really love lying about yourself, all with the intent of getting people to like you. Well, why? Why do you know about all my accounts? And how did you figure out that I graduated from a trade school? I just had to ask a pro to help me out is all. Have you gone and told my son all of this yet? Does Caleb know about all of this? What merit is there to telling your son about all of this? All right, I am never going to make fun of yourself or your mother ever again. And if you're still wanting to get married to my son, you can go right ahead with it. So please, just keep yourself from telling any of the truth to my family, okay? I've already gone and broken up with Caleb, and I don't want to see his face anymore. So I'd really just like for you to use what's happened here today as a very good reason to never talk poorly about those who come from single-parent households ever again. One other thing. Can you send me the picture that was taken of me when you poured all that water on me? I would like to have it, please. Sure, I'll send it to you right now. Thank you very much. I'll be waiting for it to come.
Hey, I think it's close to the point where we've both calmed down quite a bit. Do you think we can both go out to eat together now? I'd like to talk with you again about getting married, Riley.
Why do you think it's important for either of us to be talking to one another anymore? You and I have broken up completely now and have nothing to do with one another anymore, right?
Don't say something as cold-hearted as that, all right? I won't let my mother ever say anything so rude to you again, and I'll always be there to help. So let's make up. I have learned a lot in the past couple of weeks, and I think you and I would make a very good married couple.
This is so strange. Were you always that brain dead, Caleb?
What?
Thinking that after all your mom said to me that there'd even be a small chance of us getting back together? You must have been lobotomized to think so carelessly about things now. Are you still able to do your job as a doctor when your frontal lobe is no longer intact?
Excuse me? You! I'm giving you the chance right now to get your life back on track with me.
You're not giving me any chances right now. Rather, you're just trying to play games with me. Who would ever want to get back together with a child like you? Would you like me to come over and pour freezing cold water all over your head?
What?
I'm going to block your number and then delete your information, so never try talking to me again, okay? Goodbye now.
Wait. You can at least come out to eat, right? Just come out and talk a little.
If I have the time to be doing something like that, I'll use it finding myself a real man. Have a good one, Caleb. After that, I started to get letters in the mail from Caleb and his family, giving their apologies for everything that happened. Even with his dad and siblings being overseas and having to do so much work as doctors, they all seemed very worried by what Caleb and his mother had done to me. But it wasn't as though his dad and siblings were asking me to get married to him, but rather they really wanted me to know how badly they felt for what he'd done to me. Saying that out of the whole family, he was the biggest failure because he'd never learned any other languages like they had, and wasn't even able to get all the proper certifications to be a real doctor. His dad also wrote to me saying that once he'd gotten home from his time overseas, he'd make sure to properly handle Caleb and set him straight. When it comes to Victoria, her husband found out about her accounts and how she misassumed me as being someone else. Therefore, he had her throw away her smartphone and gave her an old flip phone, which she'd have to use from now on so that she couldn't access any form of social media. But that wasn't all, as he made sure she couldn't use any more of his credit cards and would be handed $150 a month to use for herself instead. As of right now, both Caleb and Victoria have been living quietly, rarely ever doing anything besides sit at home and go out to do some tasks. And I'd like to assume that's all because of what Victoria's husband, Caleb's dad, had said to the both of them when he got back home.
Thank you for watching till the end. If you felt good about this video, like the video. If you didn't like it, let me know why in the comments. Subscribe too. Your likes and subs lead to our motivation. We have so many videos on our channel as well, so go ahead and take a look. See you in the next video.